Imagine you have an AI agent that can research information. Now imagine another agent that's really good at analyzing data, another one that writes code, and another one that creates reports. But here's the interesting question. What if these AI agents could actually talk to each other and work together? That's where A2A, or Agent to Agent, comes in. A2A is designed to help AI agents communicate, delegate tasks, and collaborate with other agents. In this video, we'll understand A2A from the basics, what it is, why it's needed, how it works, and how it relates to MCP. And don't worry if you've never heard of A2A before. I'll explain everything step by step. Let's get started. Imagine you're building an AI system. You have one agent for research, another agent for data analysis, another for coding, and another for generating reports. Each agent has a different specialty. But now we have a problem. How does one agent ask another agent to perform a task? How does it know what that other agent can actually do? And once the work is complete, how does the first agent receive the result? Without a standardized communication method, connecting multiple agents can become complicated. And this is one of the problems that A2A is designed to address. Let's say you ask an AI, analyze our sales data, find the biggest problems, and create a report. That sounds like one request, but behind the scenes, it could actually involve several different tasks. One agent might collect the data, another might analyze it, another might identify important trends, and another might create the final report. Instead of forcing one agent to do everything, we can use specialized agents. The question now becomes, how can all these agents collaborate? That's where A2A becomes interesting. A2A stands for Agent to Agent. At a high level, A2A is a protocol designed to allow AI agents to communicate and collaborate with each other. Think about it as a common communication layer. Agent A can send a request. Agent B can receive that request. Agent B can perform the task. And then Agent B can return the result. So the basic idea is very simple. Agent A, A2A, Agent B. And if you're finding this explanation useful so far, you can hit the like button. It helps me know that these beginner-friendly AI videos are worth making. Now let's go a little deeper. Here's an easy analogy. Imagine two people who don't speak the same language. Communication becomes difficult. Now imagine they both use a common language. Suddenly, communication becomes much easier. A2A follows a similar idea for AI agents. Different agents may be built by different teams. They may use different technologies. They may even run on completely different systems. A standardized protocol gives them a common way to communicate. So instead of creating a completely different communication system for every pair of agents, they can use a common protocol. Let's look at the basic A2A architecture. First, we have the client agent. This is the agent that needs some work to be done. Then we have the A2A communication layer. And on the other side, we have the remote agent. The remote agent is the specialist that performs the requested task. That agent may then use its own tools, databases, APIs, or other systems. So the simplified architecture is client agent, A2A, remote agent, tools, and data. That's the basic architecture you need to remember. Let's make the difference even simpler. The client agent is the requester. It might say, analyze this sales data. The remote agent is the specialist. For example, it could be a data analysis agent. The client agent doesn't necessarily need to know exactly how the remote agent performs the task. It simply needs to communicate the request and receive the result. So remember, client agent equals requester. Remote agent equals specialist. So what actually happens when agents communicate? First, Agent A identifies a task. Then it needs to find an agent capable of performing that task. After discovering the appropriate agent, it sends a request. The remote agent receives the request. It performs the work. And finally, it returns the result. So the basic flow is discover, request, execute, result. That's really the heart of agent-to-agent communication. But there's an important question. How does Agent A know which agent to use? Imagine an environment with hundreds of different agents. A research agent, a SQL agent, a coding agent, a translation agent, a reporting agent. If Agent A needs database analysis, it needs some way to identify the right specialist. That's where agent discovery becomes important. The requesting agent can discover information about available agents and their capabilities. It can then choose the agent that best matches the task. One important concept here is the agent card. Think of an agent card as a description of what an agent can do. For example, data analysis agent, capabilities, SQL analysis, data aggregation, report generation. The agent card can provide information that helps another agent understand. Who is this agent? What can it do? How can I communicate with it? So before delegating a task, an agent can use this information to find an appropriate specialist. Once an agent has been selected, the actual work can be represented as a task. For example, analyze Q3 sales performance. That task can move through different stages. It might be submitted, then it becomes active or working, and eventually it can be completed. Of course, a task could also fail. The important idea is that agent collaboration isn't necessarily just one simple message. It can involve a real piece of work with a life cycle. Agents also need to exchange messages. For example, Agent A could say, "Find the top 10 customers." The remote agent might respond, "I found the customer records." Then Agent A could continue, "Now calculate their total revenue." This communication allows agents to coordinate their work. And this is where a standardized protocol becomes useful. Agents need a consistent way to exchange requests, information, and responses. Agents don't only return text. They can also produce useful outputs. These outputs can be called artifacts. For example, an agent might generate a report, a file, a dataset, an image, or another structured result. Imagine a data agent analyzes your sales information and produces sales_report.csv. That output can then be returned to the requesting agent. So think of artifacts as the useful outputs produced during an agent task. Let's imagine an AI research team. You ask, research the latest AI trends and create a report. A research agent could find relevant information. A data agent could organize the information. An analysis agent could identify important trends. And a writing agent could turn everything into a readable report. Instead of one giant agent trying to do everything, multiple specialized agents can collaborate. And honestly, this is one of the most interesting directions in AI right now. If you were building such a system, which agent would you create first, a research agent, coding agent, or data agent? Let me know in the comments. Now let's connect this to the previous video about MCP. A2A and MCP solve different problems. A simple way to remember it is, A2A connects agents to agents. MCP connects AI applications or agents to tools and data. For example, Agent A can communicate with Agent B using A2A. Then Agent B might use MCP to access a database. So you could have Agent A, A2A, Agent B, MCP database. These technologies can complement each other. And this is where things start getting really interesting. Let's make the difference very clear. MCP is primarily about connecting AI applications with external tools, resources, and capabilities. A2A is about communication and collaboration between agents. So, MCP equals tool and data access. A2A equals agent collaboration. They're not necessarily competitors. In a larger AI system, you could potentially use both. A2A can help agents communicate with each other. MCP can help those agents interact with external systems. If you watch my previous MCP explained video, this is the missing piece that connects the two ideas together. So why is A2A important? Because AI systems are becoming more specialized. Instead of building one huge AI system that tries to do everything, we can build systems containing multiple specialized agents. A planner can create the strategy. A researcher can gather information. A coder can write code. A data analyst can analyze results. And a reviewer can check the work. A standardized communication layer can make these multi-agent systems easier to connect and orchestrate. In other words, one agent doesn't have to do everything. Agents can work as a team. But there's an important warning. Agents should not automatically trust every other agent. Communication needs security. For example, agents may need authentication. They may need authorization. Specific tasks may require specific permissions. And sensitive operations may require human approval. Imagine an agent being allowed to read a sales report, but it isn't allowed to modify the production database. That access boundary is extremely important. So, A2A provides communication. It does not eliminate the need for security. Let's put everything together. A user starts with a goal. The client agent understands the request. It determines that another specialist agent is needed. It discovers an appropriate agent. The client agent sends an A2A request. The remote agent receives the task. The remote agent performs the work, potentially using its own tools and data. It produces a result or artifact. That result is returned to the client agent. The client agent uses that result to continue the workflow. And finally, the user receives the answer. So the complete mental model is user, client agent, discover, A2A, remote agent, task, tools, or data, result, client agent, user. And that's the basic idea behind A2A. So, what is A2A? In one sentence, A2A is a protocol that enables AI agents to discover, communicate, delegate tasks, and collaborate with other AI agents. Remember the simple distinction. A2A equals agent collaboration. MCP equals tool and data access. Together, these ideas can help build AI systems where multiple specialized agents work together instead of relying on one agent to do everything. If this video helped you understand A2A, give the video a like. And if you have a question about A2A, MCP, or AI agents, drop it in the comments. I read the comments, and they also help me decide which AI topics to explain next. And if you're interested in more beginner-friendly videos about AI agents, MCP, A2A, LangGraph, data engineering, and modern AI technologies, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.